What's up, everybody? Nonpon here. I hope you're all having a great day. I know this video is super early, right? I don't even think the next Champions Meet has been announced yet. However, because we are on the global server, we know what it is. We know what it's going to be. And this video is to help prepare you for it ahead of time because I don't think you can't prepare early enough. And for what you'll need for this Champions Meet, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. But before we start, if you could like and subscribe to the video, it would mean a lot to me if you want to. Oh, and there's one more thing I wanted to show you guys, a quick side thing, just because you clicked on this video. Let me show you what I'm using for Champions Meet for the Tara's Cup coming up. Let me know what you guys are using. I'm going to use Triple Ace because Triple Ace means I can actually use them for team trials as opposed to just using the same two debuffers. Not saying two debuffers are bad. I just rather have Triple Ace so my team can be more reinforced for that. But I have Narita Tachyon here. This is what I have. I won't go through every bit one at a time, but she's pretty okay. Doesn't really win as much as I would hope she would be. And then I have a gold chip. Gold chip over here, pretty decent. Sometimes has stamina issues here, actually, if she doesn't proc both of these. And I kind of regret taking Umamusume. Umamusume looks good on paper, but it never activates. If you can pick a more consistent skill, I definitely would. Then we have my top gun. Is this the one? No. Where's my top gun at? Oh, she's right here. I went right past her. Here she is. I don't know how I remember. Here's my top gun. Same thing for no stopping me. When it works well. However, it rarely ever works. And what I'm running Maya as a late surger. And I'm running Narita and Gochip as an end closer. So we'll see if we get Ryan's skill because you have to be in 6th place to actually get Ryan's ultimate. So let me know what you guys are doing for this Champions Meet. Now let's get into the next Champions Meet. It's mean, okay? It's very, very mean because it is a long distance track, and long distance tracks require a lot of stamina. So if there's anything you're going to take away from this video, even if you don't want to watch the whole thing, right? Or if you're having this on the side, that's okay too. If you just want the short version of the most important tip in this video, not all of them, but the most important tip is 9-star stamina sparks and you are a finale sparks. And that probably seems obvious, right? Like, of course I want good sparks, Nonpon, like who doesn't? But you definitely want the stamina ones. And the URA finale ones can give you speed and stamina at the same time. As a matter of fact, if you guys didn't know, actually I can go through my career here. I'll show you what I have. I think I'm making a Rudolph right now. The URA finale sparks, for every star they have, there's a chance for it to give you 10 extra speed and stamina, which is pretty huge. And you have to think that this can be on all 6 of your characters, potentially. You know what I mean? So it can add up. It can add up a lot. You're going to need as much stamina as possible. So what I would do is, I have 2 suggestions of what I would do. I would start looking through your box and see which Umas you have that have 3-star stamina, if you're lucky. If you don't have 3-star stamina, that's okay too. Because if you have an Uma that has, let's say, 2-star stamina, and maybe like 2-star URA finale, that's okay too. That's perfectly fine. So the Gemini Cup is going to be 3,200 meters. And that is not to be underestimated at all. That is not to be underestimated. A couple other things you can do to get more stamina is when you're looking through your box, see if any of the Umas also have standard distance, because that will be an extra 40 to 60 stamina. If you pick it, it's a green skill. And Kyoto racetrack, because it's a Kyoto track. And if you use the Kyoto racetrack green skill, you get an extra 40 to 60 stamina. That's going to be very important to have. So one example I'm using here, actually, let me go back to my run here. I'll show you who I was using as a parent, because I have a Ryan that's 3-star stamina, which I think is the highest priority. So 3-star stamina, highest priority. Get that. Then URA finale, which I don't have on this one, but I do have it on this Taiki, right? Have it right here, so that's okay. And then the parent, I'm borrowing 3-star stamina, 2-star long, 1-star Tensho spring, because the Gemini Cup will be in spring, so this can give you extra 40 to 60 speed. This is the standard distance that can give you extra stamina, and then you're a finale. So this is actually not my parent. I found it. Now this is not a 9-star stamina parent, right? They have 3-star power right here, and they have, you know, another actually 6-star power, which is still fine. But I don't want you guys to fall into a trap where you're just borrowing a 9-star stamina parent 3 times a day and just hoping for the best. What I would suggest that you do, and you don't have to do this. This is just my own thoughts, right? This is just what I would do. I would start making your own parent and just borrowing things that are good representatives. Because how I found this parent, I wasn't looking for a 9-star parent, right? I was just looking for someone who had exactly what I need, so I can pair them with my Ryan. So when this Rudolph eventually gets something good, I'll have something nice to plug in. Does that make sense? And if you guys want this parent, let's find it. How about we find it? Let's do that. Let's see. We can go to the Umamusume database, and you know, we can just find one. Let's do that. So I don't really care about the ultimate. I don't really care which horse girl it is. I think Ogiri and Rudolph's skills are pretty good to inherit, but because you're going to need so much stats, you know, it's okay if you don't get the ultimates. They're just pretty consistent. Rudolph and Ogiri are good suggestions if you want to commit to that. Ryan's ultimate is good when it works, but it is very inconsistent. It's still good, but very inconsistent. So let's say I want to find someone to pair with, right? So let's say stamina, I want 3, and I want this to be on the representative. I want this to be on the main parent that I can borrow, right? I don't care about the grandparents. Then I'm going to want long distance, right? For this one, you know, it can be 1-star. If you want to grind that out, that's completely up to you. Just know the lower the star, the more time you're going to be grinding out to get that S tier long distance if you are going for that. I think getting the stamina is probably more important because it's going to be a test of endurance, not speed, right? That's what's going to matter most in this track, especially when you have debuffers on this track. It's going to be a monstrosity, and I don't even know if I can prepare for this well. But I still want to help out, right? I still want to help out the best I can. Then we're going to go down here for common spark scenario. This is the URA finale, 3-star, and we'll make it a representative. So this is what we have, right? 3-star. And then we're going to search for it, right? We have all these ads too. Oh my goodness. How many can we search for? Exclude other that have a follow limit. See, search. This wasn't 10 before. I was able to like change how many people I could find at once. Oh, there you are. You can change it right here now. It's like right here in between this ad. Ooh, this ad is weird. So here we go. We have a Tachyon we can borrow, right? Although I wouldn't use Tachyon as a parent, because we'll get into that in the later part of the video. The reason why you don't want Tachyon as a parent is because you're probably going to want to use Tachyon. Don't get me wrong, you can pass on her ultimate to other Umas, but when you pass on her ultimate to other Umas, it's not as powerful as if she was using it herself. Her own ultimate is like a gold recovery skill, which is phenomenal. Not so much when it's put onto other Umas, right? So I would advise against using a Tachyon parent, but you do you. You do you. We have this gold chip here, 3-star stamina, 2-star long, and 3-star URA finale. That's pretty good. Actually, we have a good amount here. I think we have 10, and we searched for 10, right? So that means that there's a lot to pick from here, but let's get a little bit more condensed, right? Because there's so many to pick from. I don't care about the ultimate. Let's look for standard distance. Standard distance, oh, I don't know why I picked green here. Standard distance is a kind of like a common skill you can find, right? Let's just get 1, right? Just for a chance, because this could be an extra 40 stamina because it's a green skill. Let's see if we can find someone that does that. Let's go ahead and look for this. This ad is freaking me out, dude. I don't want to look at this anymore. Okay, here we go. So we have the Tachyon again. But then we have this Teo. Oh, this Teo is actually what I'm borrowing right now. That's pretty funny. Maybe borrow this guy. Maybe borrow this guy. So he has a 3-star stamina, 2-star long, right? He has standard distance on the representative, right, on the Teo. Also has Tenjo Spring on the Teo, which is Spring Runners, has an extra 40 speed. And then you also have your A Finale. So this is like everything you could hope for. It does not have 3-star long, but it's really good. It's really, really good. So, you know, if you need to pause this video and follow this Teo, again, the sooner you do this ahead of time, the better it's going to be for you, because I searched for this and only found 2 people. Imagine what it's going to be like when Gemini Cup is closer, right? This is why I want you guys to be prepared now, and I know I'm probably shooting myself in the foot by releasing the video too early, but I don't care. You know, I don't care about that. I just want to make sure I'm helping you all out. So yeah, this would be a great parent. So my goal was to use my Ryan with this Teo, right? Use whatever I have in your box. Use like a 3-star stamina, 2-star stamina that has your A Finale, whatever you got. And then pair this with the Teo, and just 3 times a day, do a run and see if you can pop off with whatever character you want to build. As a matter of fact, I made an Ogiri, because I'm working on the Rudolph right now. She got 2-star speed and 2-star long, which isn't bad. It's usable, and it's good enough for me to focus on a different parent. So let me show you. This is what I was able to make. And what I'm going to do, by the way, just like for the Taurus Cup, I'm going to be making a parent that is going to be well kitted to help you guys out. So if that Teo is full on follows by the time you're watching this video, don't worry, because I will literally make a parent that you can use. Now, my follow list is probably full at this point. Last time I checked, it was like close to being full. I do have to delete people, so everyone has a chance. If you are a member, if you are a YouTube member, I do give you first priority, so you stay on that reservation list. Just because you're supporting the channel, that's really it. It's not pay to win, just you support the channel. I want to make sure you get access to it first. That's all. So this is what I have on the Ogiri here. Is this the right one? No, not the correct one. Which one is it? This one. This one right here is what I have. So this probably could be used right now, but I can do better. We can do better here. So 2-star speed, 2-star long. Has a long shot, not bad. Corner recovery to make Maestro cheaper. And then your A Finale 2-star. So not the stamina, but speed is still something I'll need. I'd rather have the stamina, but this was good enough for me to start working on my Rudolph instead. Then I have my Ryan over here. This is my only 3-star stamina, unfortunately. I might have another Uma that could have your A Finale and 2-star stamina. I might opt for that. And then on this one, I borrowed a Rice Shower. And this Rice Shower had Kyoto Racecourse, because Kyoto Racecourse is another 40 stamina if it hits during Inspiration. So that's also pretty good. And of course, the Yurei Finale. I definitely have to double check to see if I have 2-star stamina and 2-star finale or something. But the thing about the stamina, the blue sparks never betray you. The Yurei Finale, it's not guaranteed the proc, right? It's not consistent. It's still luck. If it hits, which is nice, but it's not guaranteed. I'd rather take what's guaranteed. All right, so that's the first part of the way. And I keep yapping about stamina. And parents. And why am I doing this, right? Well, let me introduce to you how important stamina will be on this track. So on this required stamina calculator, I have 1200 stamina, right? And let's put myself as an encloser here, which is fine. And I'm going to take away all my gold recovery skills. If you don't know, gold recovery skills are 5.5%, which that's what makes it really good. Other like white skills, right? Other blue skills that aren't gold are 1.5. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep going here. 3200 firm long. 1509 stamina. This is with like 500 guts, by the way. So even if you hit cap, you're not gonna hit it, right? And the thing is, running out of stamina is the worst thing that can happen, because it doesn't matter how much speed you have. If you run out of stamina, you're pretty much just dead in the water. Like you cannot recuperate after losing that. So just so you know, stamina, the most important thing right now. So realistically, I know most people watching this video, like even me, I struggle to get 1200 stamina. I do. So I don't want you to feel like, oh, well, you know, I can get it. There's no way you can. Like, trust me, I struggle with that. So let's be realistic here, right? The reason why I brought up Tachyon and other pace chasers, right? Other pace chasers, we'll get into that later here, is because Tachyon has access to a free gold skill, right? Because of her ultimate. So that's already going to be 1, and just having 1 gold skill here brings that down to 1221, which means what? Well, you're probably going to need a second one. What's Tachyon have access to? She has access to, I believe, Race Planner, which is a consistent recovery skill, which is the most important thing. Let's see. Yeah, she has Race Planner, so this works very well. So she has access to that, so we can add this to 2, right? And now it's 961. That's not so bad, considering that her ultimate is guaranteed to activate. If you guys don't know, ultimates, your own ultimate doesn't have to go through a wit check. It's going to work. If you borrow an ultimate, then it's a wit check. So Tachyon over here as a pace chaser. Oh, let me make her into a pace chaser. Right, pace chasers use more stamina. My bad. Yeah, it's still a little bit on the lower side, especially accounting for a debuffer. So while this is enough, I would still go for 3. I would still go for 3 if you can. So that's going to be like what? Gourmand, right? Gourmand, what you can get from the special week card. Maybe. And then it goes down to 741, which is pretty good if they all activate. There's no guarantee they're all going to activate because of wit checks, right? That's why this is mostly going to be a test of endurance and seeing if you actually proc your stamina skills. The thing about Tachyon is that she kind of cheats because one of her stamina skills, well, she doesn't have to check for it. She just kind of does it, which makes her incredible for this race. So let's go ahead and cover each position though, because I don't want you to feel like you should only use Tachyon, right? I'm going to go over a couple positions here, actually all the positions, and give you an idea of what you can do. Also have to sneeze real quick, hold on. I don't know if I should cut that out or not. No, that was pretty short. That's fine. Okay. So, Kyoto Racecourse, and then 3200 outer. So here's a couple strategies that you can do. For a front runner, Dialette Scarlet can work. She's inconsistent, but she can work if her ultimate is activated. So as you can see here, I'm pressing run to find out which skills give us the most lengths. Basically, every skill can be condensed into a simulation to see how many more lengths it gives you when it comes down to a race. That's how you use this tool. As you can see, as a front runner, it's still recommending that I take Swinging Maestro. And that's also not accounting for the fact that I'm going to get hit by debuffers at the same time, right? So if I click run here, it says that it's good. However, I would probably still run one more. There are 2 skills you can opt for. 2 skills you can opt for. Now, they're not as good as Maestro or Gourmand or Race Planner or as Tachyon skill, right? They're not as good, but they're still options, right? And one of those options is the free McQueen card you can buy in the shop. So if you actually go home here, you go to the shop, and then you can buy this card. No, that's this card. This McQueen card. This is something you're going to want to use. 100%. You will be using this card. I promise. Please invest into this card. This video is early, so you can prepare. Because it can give you, it's a chance, but it can give you cooldown, right? And it's also a chance that it might give you deep breaths instead, but cooldown, it's not the best recovery skill, but it's still a recovery skill nonetheless. And if you don't have options, you should use it, right? Also, one fun fact, by the way, I learned about this recently after reading the Uma doc, is that it's not a 50% chance that she gives you one or the other. It's actually not. Something that I read in the document was the higher the stat is of the card that's giving you the skill, the higher chance you actually have of getting the gold skill. I'm not lying. That I literally read that. It blew my mind. I thought it was just a 50% chance. And I remember when I was doing runs to try to get like Gourmet from a Special Weeks card. I wasn't getting it. And I was like, what is going on? Like, this is not 50%. Turns out my stamina was pretty low when I got lucky, unfortunately. I got lucky early on the events. And that can happen, right? You can get an event for the McQueen card early when your stamina is not high. But also, if your stamina is high, you're probably close to the end of the campaign. So then you're also kind of worried if you'll even get it in the first place, because if they don't finish their chain, you don't get it, right? So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. When you're going for these skills that have a 50% shot, the higher your stamina when you're about to get the skill, the more of a higher chance you have of getting this. So you want cooldown as a front runner if you want to run that. Another thing you can get is Bofa, which is otherwise known as Breath of Fresh Air. Bofa. And that comes from the Vodka card. Now, I know the Vodka card is a strength card, and this is going to be a little bit awkward to work into your deck. You can also get lucky and get the carrots from the URA finale, not the finale, from like the director during her event, and she can give you Bofa, right? She can actually give that to you if you get the carrots. You just pick the bottom option, I think. If you get lucky, right? So Vodka here just gives it to you. No checkers or anything. You just get Breath of Fresh Air. Very consistent. Not the best skill, but it's still a skill nonetheless, right? So if you're not a pace chaser, your goal is going to try to get Swingy Maestro, right? You're going to get Swingy Maestro. You can borrow this, or however you need to do it, get Swingy Maestro. Get Bofa from Baka, or get lucky during the campaign, right? And then definitely you want to use the McQueen card because she has a recovery skill designed for long distance races. And it's not guaranteed that she gives it to you, but you're going to want it nonetheless. Anyway, so with that out of the way, what else did I want to show off here? So Scarlet's skill right here. And the thing about the front runners is that right now they don't look too good. I think when Seren Sky comes out, because I'm pretty sure Seren Sky will come out before this champion meets happens. And if she does, I'll make a follow-up video. I'm pretty sure she will. But she might change a couple things in my prior opinions about how they use a front runner on this. But check this out, dude. So Violet Scarlet's ultimate here, at least I'm pretty sure this is the one, right? Has potentially a chance to give you 3 lengths, right? I know you probably see no stopping me right here, but look at the median right here by my face. The median's so low. Like this is how you know it's like inconsistent. If this median is low, you know it probably doesn't happen very often. That Scarlet's ultimate, you know, if you inherit it, not saying it's going to work very often, but if it does work, there's a chance it could pop off, right? The thing about the front runners is that you can use a strategy where you run 3 front runners. This is a very, very Chad move, I would say. Very Chad move if you want to do this. But how it works is that there's always going to be one front runner that wants to be in first, right? Always is going to be one. So what you can do is you can run 3 front runners, and they're all trying to fight each other for first place. And because they're competing so hard at getting first place, they're leaving everybody else in the dust. Just naturally. It's kind of cute, I'm not going to lie. It is inconsistent. And there's no telling that these ultimates are actually going to pop off when you want them to. But it's still something you can do, right? But obviously, the most important thing to account for is your stamina before anything else. After you get your stamina, then you can focus on anything else on this list, right? Escape Artist, you get that from the Seren Sky ultimate, not ultimate, her support card if you want to run it. Innate Experience, I don't think we really have easy access to this right now. Corners is up here too. You know, the typical long corners, long straightaways, like the exclusive skills for the very exclusive track are going to be very good. However, you're going to be buying a lot of gold recovery skills, and in my opinion, the cheaper the skill, the better. So that's why I really invest into greens nowadays. So right-handed, Spring Runner, Firm Conditions, Kyoto Racecourse. I can show you my deck, actually. Let me show you what I have here. I'm going to go back to my Rudolph campaign here. But I'll show you what I'm running. And this is what I'm running for my parents, right? Because when you do your actual run, you're not going to be trying to go for those greens, right? And in your actual run, you're going to be trying to get all those gold recovery skills. So you won't really have much time for white sparks, right? But your parents can still give you a chance at getting them. All right, still potentially. Let me show you what I got here. So I picked this deck. I picked Super Creek just to finish the campaign because I want to get that URA finale spark, potentially. McQueen. So this is the funny part. The McQueen card here, the rare version, has has Spring Runner. It has Spring Runner, but the SSR version that gives you the recovery skill does not have it. So I think that's pretty cute. I mean, that's pretty cute. So that's why I run this card. So I run Super Creek here. Maybe I can get firm conditions. We'll see. Maybe I'll get corner recovery to make Maestro cheaper. I run McQueen here for Kyoto Racecourse and Spring Runner. Kiya-san, just to win the campaign on my parent, can give corner recovery as well and Shinoe recovery for more discounts, right? Sarah and Sky, I got lucky on this. Not everybody has this. Has long shot, which can be good. It can be good if I'm the 4th lowest to win. We'll see. But it's still a pretty good Sam the skill. It's a green nonetheless. I run this one. He's on Amazon. I can give Enclosure Savvy, which I am going to be getting to later. I'm going to be getting to that later. Because Enclosures are going to be very good in this race. Very good. Enclosure Straightaways, also good. Straightaway Spurt, very important later. Very, very important later. So I got that. And then I borrowed a Fine Motion. Honestly, just because she has right-handed. Right-handed's more speed. Other post proficiency. If I get lucky, it's more speed. If I get it. So that's what I'm running, right? You don't have to run this. Run what you have. Gonna sneeze again here. My allergies, dude. They're acting up here. Anyone here? Anyone else have allergies? Okay. So. This is all of our greens. This is all of our greens. And my goal is to get these on my Rudolph here and then pass them on to whatever I'm going to be grinding, right? We'll see. That's also why I like this Teo slapped onto my Rudolph, because she's going to give Spring Runner, Center Distance, and URA Finale, maybe. So I'm just increasing those odds, right? That's why I am doing that. Okay. So that's what you have for front runners. Pace Chasers use more stamina, but it doesn't matter because they have access to so many stamina skills. It actually ends up being positive. The problem is, here's the problem. Unless you're Tachyon, here's the issue, is that Pace Chasers have access to Gourmet. They can use Swinging Maestro. They use more stamina, but they have the recovery skills to make up for it. But I'm going to call that Pace Chaser tax, because that means that you're going to be using more skill points. Does that make sense? As a Pace Chaser, you have a stamina penalty. It's like 11%. But because you have access to Gourmet, which always works, it does offset it. But because you have to buy Gourmet, like it's like mandatory, that's going to use more skill points. But that's okay. It actually doesn't matter. It's perfectly fine. So Gourmet, right? So I'm going to click run here. We're still okay now. I would still probably run one more recovery skill here. If you're Tachyon, you don't have to. If you're a Giri or any other Pace Chaser, maybe Taki Shadow if you want. No, I don't think Taki would be good here. This is where you're going to add cooldown, right, from McQueen. Or you're going to add Bofa from Vaca here, right? If you don't have Gourmet, let's say you're running a Pace Chaser that isn't Ogiri, you get Gourmet from the Special Week card. If you didn't know that. However, this card came out before the Kita-san rerollers came in, so not everyone has this card. You might have to borrow it. Same thing with this card, is that it gives you a chance for a recovery skill. Higher your speed, the higher chance you have of getting that gold recovery when this event happens. If you have it, right? If you have it, it's still a speed card. It fits in. So we'll keep going there. So as a Pace Chaser, what skills is it recommending? So let's see here. Yep, still the same thing. Is nothing too surprising here. Long corners, pace chaser corners, this all makes sense. The thing is, these skills are probably going to be the most important things to get as a White Spark, because you won't have much wiggle room to use them on your main deck that's going to be focused on stamina and speed. Now, I've said that multiple times, but the reason why they're also going to be useful is because they're cheap, right? They are very, very cheap, and that's the most important thing, because you're not going to have much time to do optional races, because you kind of need to make sure that you're using your skill points and getting as much stamina as you can for yourself and whatever you have left over for the gold recovery skills. If I come down here, like here's Rudolph's skill and here's Argiri's skill. That's why I'm putting them on as parents in case I have room. In case I have room for skill points. There's no guarantee, but just in case, right? But right-handed, it's cheap. Spring Runner, it's cheap if you get it. Long Shot, also cheap. They're very cheap skills, and they can fit into your build. What I would do is I wouldn't double circle it. I wouldn't double circle unless you don't have a choice, right? So like long corners over here, maximum 0.79, mean is 0.7, and then the medium is like 0.68. So it's very consistent, right? It's very consistent. The first time you buy it for the single circle, it's going to be cheap. The second time you buy it, it's going to be more expensive, and it's not going to give you as much, right? So you look at how much one circle is going to give you, and then double circle, it gives you like about 30% more, which is fine if you want to invest in that, but it would be better to have a variety, right? It would be better to have a variety. Now, the off chance of that, though, is that you're going to have to rely on your wits more. So it depends if you want more consistency or you want more potential. That's kind of like the fork in the road. Because if you got long corners as a double circle, when it activates and it passes the wit check and it activates, you know for a fact, okay, I'm good, right? Vice versa, if you say let's pick a bunch of like single circles, right? Like long corners, single circle, pace chaser, etc. You potentially have more lengths, right? And it's cheaper for you. But there's no guarantee that all of these skills are going to activate if your wits are too low. Your wits should be between like 300 and 500. 500 is still kind of overboard in my opinion, but between 300 and 500 is what you want to aim for. 400 is a decent middle if you want to do that. That's about 70% chance of your skills activating. But again, the more skills you have, the less likely they're all going to activate the way you want them to. So it's up to you if you want consistency or if you want more potential, right? Now, keep in mind, though, there's no reward for winning harder. There's no reward for winning faster or like further ahead than everybody else. You just have to win. So that's kind of like up to the player at that point. Honestly, from what I've learned from the Taurus Cup is that consistency is king, right? You can get crazy and wild, especially when it comes to short distances. But for long distances, consistency, in my opinion, will be more important. So I don't really know. I don't know which one I would do. That's up to you guys, whichever you want to do. I can see the argument for both sides. You want a consistent skill that if it works well, or do you want multiple skills that have less of a chance of actually activating? Up to you. Then you have Curve here. Curve is also good. Pretty expensive, though. I'm not going to lie. I don't think you should use Curve. It works well. It's expensive. If you have these other stuff here on your White Sparks, that would also be good, which you can find in the database. Maybe you'll find someone who has like 2-star stamina, 3-star URA finale, and maybe one of these corner skills that you can get lucky on. Who knows? But I would definitely rely on the blue stamina sparks over anything else. So let's go to Late Surger. Late Surger, I don't think has much fire. I know Front Runner has cheese. Pace Chasers have skills. Late Surgers, I don't think has much fire this time. Late Surger is debuff city. That's like down the street, right? That's the street you don't want to walk on. Yeah, that's the downtown 7-Eleven. You probably don't want to be in Late Surger City because these are where all the debuffers are going to be. And if you think debuffers were bad in the Taurus Cup, let me tell you, they're going to be very happy to know they can break your legs on a long distance track. So, yeah, Pace Chasers have skills to make up for it. Front Runners are too far away for all of them to actually activate on them. But if you're a late surger and you're like right next to the United States, you can maybe dodge them. But it seems like a dangerous pick. But what do we have here? What do you have? Like Stamina and Siphon? Oh my goodness. I think this is like a Stamina Eater. This is like Stamina Eater, I'm pretty sure. In Global. God, that's like a long distance debuff. That's going to be so mean. On your left, that's Nice Nature. Nice Nature. Her ultimate seems like it'd be really good to inherit if you're going to do a late surger. Seems like there's a chance for a very huge potential output if it works. But look, the medium right here is so low. The medium right here is very, very tiny. My ear's in the way. At like 0.19. So, not sure about that one. 50 million CC seems more consistent here. Let's put some Iron. I'm not a fan of it. It's very inconsistent to actually work to be in 6th place, but it can work when it works well. Competitive Spirit, you'll probably definitely pull off because there will be a lot of late surgers and debuffers, so at least you get extra power from that if you want to. No Stopping Me, it looks like it's good on paper, never works. I just don't see much potential in running a late surger right now in this one. I feel like it would be a very dangerous move. So if someone has an idea for a late surger to use, let me know. I could be wrong. This is just a thorough conversation. Let me know. Now let's get to end closers. And this is going to be the funniest part about this entire video. So you have Encroaching Shadow. Do you know who has Encroaching Shadow? It is Narita. Narita has Encroaching Shadow, which is going to be probably the breadwinner of this ultimate. At least the skill is. I'm not saying Narita's going to win. So she can get Encroaching Shadow. It's pretty good. Especially on the straight. Very consistent. 5 lengths. Works very well. Very, very good skill. Now, let's say that you're not using Narita, though, which is fine. You can use her as a parent that has straightaway spurt. So you can borrow this. So you can either use Narita for the Encroaching Shadow, or you can use Narita as a parent to potentially pass on straightaway spurt as a White Spark. If you're a gold chip player, this would be useful, right? Because you won't have the better version, but at least you'll have a good skill nonetheless that's consistent. But this is like the topsy-turvy part about end closers in this. So if you're an end closer, let's say that you're you're gold chip or you're Narita, right? The thing about gold chip and Narita, their skills activate consistently if they're far behind in the race. Right? Now, we didn't see this much in the Taurus Cup because I feel like end closers weren't. I feel like we're still learning this. It still could have been used, but not as much, not as critical as it will be in this race. The trick you can do is that while Narita, let's say Narita has Sleep and Lion, right? Sleep and Lion here, which is a very good recovery skill. Distance different rate of 75%. So you have to be 75% of the way behind the race to use Sleep and Lion. And when it works well. Same thing for like, I think Gold Chip's Ultimate. What was it? Go Home Specialist, I think it's like a similar thing. Let me see here. Go Home Specialist. No, that's just downhill. So Go Home Specialist is probably fine. Either way. But I don't think her ultimate is, regardless. Anyway, you can use a Haru, like Haru Yura. Actually, any Uma. You can use any Uma that has less than 100 power. You can just make a dead pick, right? You can just put in an Uma that's at least B rank so they can participate in like the advanced bracket, and just sandbag. You just throw a Haru in there. Don't even think about it. She's not going to win. But the trick is that she's going to be so far back in the race. So far back that Narita as an end closer will not be 75% of the way back behind the race. she can't do it because Haru is all the way in the back so far. So Narita is like 50% in the race. Do you know what I mean? She's not 75% back. So essentially, by just using a Haru or like a dead pick character, you have taken away Sleeping Lion from an end closer, right? Now, that's if you run into someone who's actually doing that. If you're watching this video, don't do that to me. Please don't do that. But if you're free to play, right, and you don't have Narita, and you're like, man, I want to use gold chip and I really want to screw over these Naritas. But remember, if you're a gold chip and you use the sandbag trick, I'm pretty sure gold chip, I don't think, let me double check. I don't think her ultimate will work either because you have to be so far back here. Distances, yeah. So she has to be 60% of the way back. So keep in mind, that's a cost. If you want to screw over the end closers, you're probably a Tachyon. That's what I'm going to say. You're probably a Tachyon with like 4 recovery skills. And you're like, you know what? Those end closers, I want to give them a hard time. I'm just going to run a dead pick Haru so they can't use their abilities as much. And because this is a race of endurance, that's a pretty strong strategy. However, what Narita or what Gold Chip can do instead is they just don't use... well, at least Narita, they just don't use Sleeping Lion, right? If they just don't use it, right? If they go for cooldown, right? If they go for cooldown from McQueen and they get Bofa, right? From Vaka somehow, right? Or they get lucky, right? I type in Vaka. If they get this, right? Then they're fine, right? Potentially, because they're going to avoid debuffs. That's the other thing. Because they're so far back, they don't have to worry about the nice natures, right? They don't have to worry about that. They can also get... Let's see, refresh. Oh, Maestro. I don't know. I forgot about Maestro here. They can get that too. So that's like the mind game, is that you can use Haru as a dead pick, but you're basically eliminating one tool you could have used because you could have instead used another debuffer that could consistently hit everybody else. If you're picking Haru, you're only countering one specific type of racer, if that's your goal. So if you want to be a Tachyon, like, okay, I'll run one debuffer and then one Haru that has some debuffs on it. She won't be able to get much, but she can do some. She has to have low stats, but she has to have enough stats to be B rank. At least if that's what the Gemini Cup requires, at least B rank. We'll see. Maybe they might bump it up to A rank. Who knows? But just keep that in mind. So there is a big mind game when it comes to Narita, because Encroaching Shadow is a very polarizing skill, right? There are not many skills on this track that will work as well as Encroaching Shadow, especially since you already have to pay so much for recovering skills. Straightaway Spurt, if you borrow Narita, that can give you Straightaway Spurt, that will be really good. Keep in mind, there's only a chance for you to get it off a White Spark when you inherit. Yeah, bro, you have to get the S tier long aptitude, and then you have to hope that you get Straightaway Spurt at the same time. Like that's rough, right? But so there's a chance. Yeah, of course you already have like long corners and closer corners, etc. Straightaways, you know how it is, and then you have your greens as well. So that is like the full breakdown of what this is going to be for the second Champions Meet for the Gemini Cup. It's a lot at once, right? It's a lot at once. So right now, if we took anything away from this video, focus on getting your 9-star Stamina Parents. Focus on getting your A Finale Sparks. Borrow someone that has both of those and make your own parent. Do not be the person who's going to just try 3 times a day to try to get a good racer when you could have just used your own parents instead of exactly what you needed. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still do that, right? If you have a good parent, you want to borrow someone else and just do it that way, you can too. But I think it's more important to like augment your roster of parents as opposed to always borrowing from somebody else. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, I could use, like, I have a Rudolph run right now, right? I could have used my Ryan and that Teo and then just did a run with Narita Tachyon. I could have done that. However, Narita Tachyon won't be, I mean, she could be a good parent, I guess now if I get Straightaway Spurt. But I think it's more important just to focus on your own parents and borrow them if you really have to. I guess that's when I'm like stumbling on my words. Use borrows to make your own parents. Only use the borrow as a real PvP parent if you have no choice. That's what I would take away from this. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I like to make parents. I like to make broken parents to help other people out. Keep in mind, again, if you are a YouTube member, I'll have another video where basically you just verify, just tell me what your name is. I'm going to go back to my YouTube member list to see and line everybody up in my Excel sheet. I'll make sure that their spot stays on my follow list. If you become a YouTube member, comment below, let me know. Wait for the future video where I show off the parent that I'm going to make. Then, yeah, that's it. As always, make sure that you win with your favorites. Don't try too hard. Don't sweat too hard. It's a gacha game at the end of the day. This is not a friendly competition between friends. These are against people you don't know. So only spend what you can. If you don't know what you do, just do what you can. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.